Have you ever stopped to think about how an invisible X-ray beam turns into an image that can literally save a life? Well, it's this incredible bit of alchemy, really. It all happens in almost total darkness, mixing precise chemistry with some pretty dangerous materials to turn a hidden message into a critical diagnosis. So let's step inside the darkroom and uncover the secrets of this chemical magic. So, this is the puzzle. All the information is right there, captured on a thin layer of silver, but you can't see it. We call it a latent image. It's basically a ghost. And our mission, if you will, is to bring that ghost into the real world without a single tiny flaw.
And this is where the stakes get incredibly high. We're heading into the darkroom, an environment that's swimming with toxic fumes, potential stray radiation, and chemical hazards. Every single step we take from here on out has to be absolutely perfect.
All right, so first things first, let's really get a handle on what we're up against here. We have to unlock the secret that's being held captive inside the film's emulsion. Okay, so here's the key thing you need to get. The X-ray has already done its job. It zapped these tiny silver halide crystals with energy, but to our eyes, the film just looks blank. Our entire goal in the darkroom is to use a chemical reaction to basically command those energized crystals to show themselves, to transform into the black metallic silver that will actually form the final image. Now, to pull off this transformation, a technician first has to navigate a pretty serious gauntlet. The darkroom itself is a challenge that you have to survive before you can even think about starting the work. And let me tell you, this isn't just a list of recommendations. This is armor. A simple splash of developer can cause chemical burns. The fixer has acetic acid in it. Without this gear, a technician is walking in completely exposed to skin irritation, serious eye damage, and some nasty respiratory problems. And the danger isn't just what you can touch, it's what you breathe. This number, 8 to 10, it's absolutely critical. It means the air inside the darkroom has to be completely replaced 8 to 10 times every single hour. Why? Because chemicals like glutaraldehyde are constantly releasing toxic fumes that will just build up in the air if you let them. And this? Wow, this lays out the stakes of good airflow perfectly. On one side, you've got the immediate health stuff, headaches, dizziness, you name it. But look at that last point on the right. Good ventilation actually reduces film defects. That fume buildup can cause fogging on the film, ruining the very image you're trying to create. So it's about protecting both the person and the picture. Then there's the last invisible threat, radiation. Darkrooms are usually right next to X-ray rooms, and stray radiation can sneak through and pre-expose the film, causing that same annoying fogging defect. That's why film is stored in lead-lined cabinets, and why lead shielding in the walls is totally non-negotiable. It's protecting the film's integrity and the technician's long-term health. Okay, we're suited up, the room is safe. Now, finally, we can begin the ritual. This is the precise 5-step chemical dance that brings that hidden, latent image to life. So here's our roadmap: developing, rinsing, fixing, washing, and drying. Each step is a very specific chemical reaction with a very specific purpose. And the timing? Well, the timing has to be perfect. Let's break it down. Before we even think about touching the film to a chemical, these two tools right here are our guides: a thermometer and a timer. This is not guesswork. The ideal temperature for the developer is a cool 20 degrees Celsius, that's 68 Fahrenheit, for exactly 5 minutes. If it's too hot or you leave it in too long, you get a dark, useless mess. Too cold or too short, and the image is just a faint, unreadable ghost. Step 1, developing. The film gets submerged smoothly into the developer. And this is the moment of revelation. The developing agent is specifically engineered to target only the silver halide crystals that were hit by the X-ray beam. It converts them into pure black metallic silver, literally waking up the hidden image from its slumber. After a quick 30-second rinse to slam the brakes on the development, the film goes into the fixer. And this part is so important. The fixer does two main things. First, it washes away all the unexposed silver crystals, the ones the X-rays didn't touch, and second, it hardens the whole thing, making the image permanent. It basically locks in the picture and clears out all the noise. Now for the final bath. A nice, long, 10 to 20-minute wash in clean, running water. This might seem like overkill, but if any of that fixer chemical is left on the film, it will slowly eat away at the image over the years, causing it to turn yellow and fade. This step right here ensures the radiograph is a stable, permanent medical record. The very last step is simple, but it's absolutely crucial. The film is hung up to dry in a completely dust-free cabinet. See, that wet emulsion is soft and sticky, and any little speck of dust that lands on it can become a permanent part of the image. But once it's dry, the transformation is officially complete.
But what happens when one of those steps isn't perfect? Well, that's when we enter the judgment phase, where we look at the common defects that can make a radiograph totally useless.
In this quote right here, it gets to the absolute heart of why perfection is the only option. A flawed radiograph isn't just a simple mistake. It's a piece of medical misinformation. It could hide a fracture or maybe create the illusion of a tumor that isn't even there. Fogging is probably one of the most common defects. It's this graying of the image that just kills the contrast. And hey, look at the causes. Sound familiar? Stray radiation from bad storage, light leaks in the darkroom, leaving the film in the developer too long. Every single one is a failure of either safety or procedural discipline. Artifacts are the other big enemy. These are just unwanted marks or blemishes. A crescent-shaped crimp mark from bending the film, a spot from a drop of splashed chemical, a fingerprint. These tiny moments of carelessness can create little spots on the final image that could easily be mistaken for a serious medical problem. So, after navigating all those hazards and all those precise steps, what's the final verdict? What actually makes a perfect image? And why does this whole intense process matter so much? It really all comes down to these three pillars. You need meticulous safety, not just for the technician, but to protect the film itself from getting fogged. You need procedural precision with time and temperature. That's what creates perfect contrast. And you need constant vigilance to prevent those little artifacts that can lead to a misdiagnosis. A perfect image is never, ever an accident. And that kind of brings us to a final thought. In our world of digital everything, where an image just pops up instantly on a screen, there's something really powerful we can learn from this old-school analog craft. It teaches us that creating a clear, truthful picture requires discipline, care, and an unwavering respect for the process. Something to think